From birth to about grade 3, the brain is wired to learn how to master the reading skills. And then from grade 3 on, from about age 10 on, they then read to learn.
Literacy is a big issue for some of our children because, as we all know, if you can't read, it's hard to be successful anyplace else.
If we don't master learning in these early years, these children are at tremendous risk of not being able not just to read and comprehend, but apply what they've read to history and math and science. We have to master reading in these early years. There's no other option.
Literacy is tied to a lot of the ills in our society, drug abuse, teenage pregnancy, truancy, alcohol abuse. If a student is not able to read by the 3rd grade, they are 4 times more likely to drop out of school.
We're looking at children who come from neighborhoods where you may have half the adults without a high school diploma. And children who have, in some of our neighborhoods with extreme poverty, 79% of those households earn less than $13,000 a year.
Many of them come from homes whereby they have to be the adult in the house. Some of them have to get up, get breakfast ready, get their siblings dressed, because mom is a single parent and many times she has gone off to work already or she's sleeping because she's worked overnight and she's tired. So it requires a lot of them as an elementary aged child.
There are states that use the literacy score of 3rd graders to project prison construction. That there is a strong correlation between those kids who can't read in the 3rd grade as to what their future is going to be like. That's chilling.
And so if they are not reading on grade level, instead of a dormitory room being built for them, someone's building a jail cell.
We are working with a school right now where 61% of the children from pre-K through grade 2 are not reading on grade level. What are the chances for those kids if we don't come in and stand with them and say, we're here to make sure that you master this? We don't have an option.
The one-on-one is a distinctive of the LEC literacy program, where the tutors, they come in 1 hour a week for 1 academic year to work with the same student that's struggling. Research shows that 1 hour a week has a significant impact on a child. Just being there, if you didn't even say anything, just the fact that you're there and you're consistent, because there's the undivided attention that's given to that child, where that tutor can focus specifically on those issues or those challenges that that child is experiencing.
These kids need a caring adult. On top of the teacher, another person who says, I care, who models for them appropriate behavior, who demonstrates that this community expects these children to be the tops.
To get that one-on-one time, to get that individual attention from someone who cares about you socially, academically, and behaviorally will definitely impact what a child does in school and how they feel about themselves. As we continue to educate these children in 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade, I know that having that relationship will definitely, and I'll be able to see it fortunately, the impact that the relationship has had upon our boys and girls. They love knowing that just one significant adult is concerned about how they do in school.
I meet with Sean an hour a week on Tuesdays from 10 to 11. I pick him up at his classroom. I can see him light up when I get to the door. He'll run and give me a hug, and we'll walk to the computer room. And I'll get him to work in the sight words, and I'll get him to work on his letters. And I can remember showing it to him once, getting a puzzled look. A couple of weeks later, he will try to sound it out. And then when I see him pronounce that word correctly the first time, you can see the beam in his eye, and it's exciting to know that he's accomplished something that day that he didn't do a couple of weeks before.
She swallowed the spider to catch the fly. I don't know why she swallowed the fly.
We can all remember somebody in grammar school, grade school, somewhere along the line that spent some extra time with us to help us in an area. I probably wouldn't have made it without that extra attention. And then I also thought with a name like my mother gave me, Read Smart, I should be a natural in teaching these 6-year-olds how to read.
We could not do what we do without excellent partners. Norfolk Public School, the United Way, many of the area banks. We've cultivated an excellent relationship with other corporations. The church, City of Norfolk, has been extremely supportive. EVMS and many, many other organizations. And our newest partnership is the Norfolk Police Department.
What we were looking for in the Norfolk Police Department was a way to partner with somebody to allow our officers to be seen in a different light. Too many times we go into neighborhoods and we're seen as the enforcers. We come in, we arrest people, sometimes we have to break up domestic disputes between family members, and they never get to see us in a helping or mentoring role.
People don't know us, and there's often a fear of the unknown, there's a lack of trust. So getting to know people, not just kids, but the residents in those neighborhoods on a more personal level kind of takes away some of that mystery and helps to build trust and build those relationships that we as the police department should build with our communities.
We're all in this together, and the police departments work for the community, and they are part of the community. And as long as we fight the idea of a separation and become more relaxed and interested in the welfare of each other, then it's a natural process.
There was a lot of people that touched my life, a lot of teachers that touched my life when I was coming up. And so as a resident of Norfolk and as a product of that school system, I think this gives me a wonderful opportunity to provide some great opportunities for kids in our communities.
This is personal to me. Having grown up myself in the inner city, I was one of those kids that had a difficult time reading, learning phonics, and as a result, I was placed in a special class. I was in a program such as the program that we're currently doing. Obviously, we didn't have computers. We had volunteers from the University of Rutgers that would come to our school and assist students such as myself. Once I got the attention that I needed, I was able to overcome my challenges. As a small boy, someone giving me that time meant the world to me. I know that as a law enforcement officer, we giving these kids from these communities our time, it's going to mean the world to them.
LEC has been working here in Norfolk for over 10 years in Title I schools, primarily with students who come from low-income families. The neighborhoods are at risk, so spending that one-on-one time with them is so critical. And that's what the LEC is all about. And I'm privileged to play a part.
The Life Enrichment Center is important, extremely important, because school by school, from Jaycox to Richard Foley to Tidewater Park, they have made a difference in the lives of children.
The way to get involved is limitless. LEC is a path for you to help meet the needs of kids and to make sure they all master reading. Life Enrichment Center has partnered with these schools, met with the teachers face-to-face, and said, what can we do to support what you're trying to do with kids? We will bring you the resources that you don't have. We know that your teachers are caring and talented and passionate, but what LEC does is add another layer on top of it that these kids would not have.
I believe that God has created every person with a purpose, and they have gifts, they have talents, they have abilities, and I don't take lightly our call to do everything that we possibly can do to help a child not only fulfill their destiny, fulfill their purpose, but to know it, to know the gifts, to know the talents, to know perhaps why they're here. If one child is changed as a result of this, to me, is worth it all.